pigeon drones, hidden microphones, and your very own phone. You never know how they're listening to you, but they are. I'm Olivia Kozlowski, and here are the top 10 terrifying ways the FBI is watching you right now. Have you ever been spied on? Have you ever caught a neighbor snooping in places they shouldn't be? Let us know in the comments. This list creeps me out. Starting off in our number 10 spot, we have SIM cards. In February of 2015, it was reported that infamous hacker Edward Snowden provided documents that prove the NSA and GCHQ were up to no good. Both groups had hacked into a Dutch company that's responsible for manufacturing and supplying 2 billion SIM cards per year, from AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and more. This hack suggests that the agencies would then now have access to billions of unique encryption keys, which could potentially allow them to bypass wireless providers and monitor both the voice and data transmissions of every user that has a SIM card made by the same company. It's a lot of options. The company had been the target of at least 2 sophisticated intrusions, and they believed the NSA and the GCHQ were responsible, but the company then denied that the hack was successful in gaining access to these encryption keys. Let's just hope that that's the case. I'm just gonna delete my history. Anyways. In our number 9 spot today, we have the Spy Pod. Nowadays, it feels like there's a new iPhone or iGadget every other day. Music is personal. Spotify is almost too personal at times. But if we go way back to the early days of the iPod, we can find Apple's secret iPod. Listen to Bruno Mars while you search for smuggled uranium. We love it. Back in 2005, former Apple software engineer David Shayer partnered up with the US Department of Energy to create this new spy gadget. The special iPod was designed to test radiation on the go without drawing any attention from the public. I wonder if that came with the new iOS update this week. This was, of course, top secret information back in the day, so what do you think is happening now? Your next Google Home Mini could be working for the government. In our number 8 spot today, we have caller ID. Back to our boy Snowden for this one. In 2013, it was revealed by The Guardian that, according to documents that were leaked by Snowden, the Obama administration has allowed the NSA to collect different caller information from Verizon. This was done through what was called a business records provision of the Patriot Act that was established under the presidency of George W. Bush. It allowed the government to order Verizon to hand over call information every day. All those breakups, all those prank calls. Give them. This information included things like the time, location, and the duration of the call. The information began being collected under the Bush administration in 2001, and they were collected from AT&T, Verizon, and Bell South. Of course, once these documents were leaked and this information became public knowledge, US officials began trying to reassure the public that this surveillance was somehow necessary and was actually a program vital to national security. Yet, oddly, many people rightfully felt like the spying was an unnecessary invasion of their privacy. Just a tad. In our number 7 spot today, we have bird drones. Might as well include some bird conspiracies while we're here, why not? First of all, it's worth mentioning, a large amount of people believe birds are just drones that spy on us. Specifically pigeons, which is insane to me. Pigeons downtown are wild. They're way too close for comfort, but I don't think they're drones sent to spy on us. Bird drone isn't a new concept by any means. Back in the early 60s, the CIA had this secret program called Project Aqualine, where they used small drones with a low radar cross-section and a tiny camera. They began working on it in 1965, and the first prototype, well, it was a bit obvious. Not so secretive, this one. It weighed over 100 pounds. It was this massive eagle, but the only way to catch it after it was done recon was to fly it into a nest, which broke something almost every test flight. Do we think birds are spying on us? Seagulls are definitely guilty of something. They're hiding something, those sneaky guys. In our number 6 spot today, we have Prism. The worst part of training for any job is the PowerPoint you have to watch on day 1. There's always a health and safety video from like 1987, long before WMIS ever existed. It's absolutely eye-opening. But believe it or not, the CIA also needs to watch a PowerPoint or 2 when it comes to their training. This 41-page PowerPoint was leaked back in 2013 when Edward Snowden leaked an unbelievable amount of documents. I mean, he's already been mentioned 3 times on this list so far. It included this 41-page PowerPoint describing a program that was called Prism. Prism costs about $20 million a year and it began back in 2007. The PowerPoint program confirmed that the NSA has access to servers belonging to massive tech giants such as Google, Skype, or you guessed it, YouTube. Smash that thumbs up for Snowden, folks. He's watching this one with us. In our number 5 spot today, we have listening to world leaders. Back in 2013, again, Edward Snowden released a plethora of classified documents, and it was leaked that the United States was spying on Germany, France, and Spain. It is said that the government tapped 35 phones, and not just anyone's phones, but the phones of world leaders. Of course, when some of them found out after the leak, they were quick to point out how spying between friends is not okay. Yeah, they pulled out the friend card. That cuts deep. It was, however, also released that world leaders were not the only ones being spied on, as it was found that the NSA was monitoring phone calls in Spain, and these were just random individuals. Anyone. And it wasn't just like some here or there, it was said that it was about 60 million calls in just 1 month. That's so much gossip. In our number 4 spot today, we have military dolphins. Yes, I said military dolphins. We're gonna get weird now. Iran has plenty of nuclear capabilities, but they also have trained dolphins now too. So, good game, folks. Back in 2000, Iran bought this fleet of trained dolphins from Russia. Just Russians doing things. But they were trained supposedly by the Soviet Union to attack ships. And yes, even people. We have Navy SEALs and military dolphins. Is this Aquaman 2? What is going on? Well, recently, like 2018 recent, satellite photos revealed a Russian naval base in Syria with pens that are commonly used for holding, you guessed it, dolphins. Russia and the US have a fleet of trained dolphins to detect mines, but now Iran is in the mix as well. In our number 3 spot today, we have hotel recordings. Have you ever been to a sketchy hotel or Airbnb? If so, comment down below. Tell us your experience. Hotels are meant to feel like a second home, or at least they're supposed to be secure. Back in 1990, the late Marion Barry, who was once mayor of Washington, was being recorded by the FBI and DC police while he was in his hotel room, taking part in some illegal narcotics and such with a friend. Barry went to prison after he was set up, but that still didn't stop him from becoming mayor once again when he was released. I've seen on Reddit a bunch of people finding hidden cameras in their rooms. It's so gross. What a nightmare. In our number 2 spot today, we have the secret hospital phone calls. Lance Armstrong, not to be confused with Neil Armstrong, although I'm sure we're listening to his phone as well. Lance Armstrong won the Tour de France 7 times from 1999 to 2005. Impressive on multiple fronts. Now, it's more than likely you've heard about some happenings with Lance, some scandals and whatnot. But how did all of this come out? Well, it started in July of 2004. Greg LeMond, 3-time Tour de France winner, he secretly recorded himself having a conversation with Stephanie McGilvin, because Stephanie apparently overheard a conversation while Lance was in the hospital being treated for testicular cancer. She heard some private medical information. She then told Greg what she had heard. Lance admitted to using steroids to a doctor. Armstrong insisted this conversation with medical staff never happened, but come October 2012, the anti-doping agency confirmed Armstrong had been using throughout his career. The Tour de France stripped him of his titles, and from here things got even more out of control when Lance's attorney said the FBI was investigating the leak as well. Next time you talk to your doctor, make sure the FBI, or maybe even your friends, just stay out of it. In our number 1 spot today, we have the secret app. At one point or another, we all got the secret Vault app on our phone. Hide messages, photos, whatever you want. These were the classic iPod Touch days, where the app was purposefully designed to look like another app in case anybody went snooping through your phone. But how secure is that app to begin with? That little 4-number combination you set might not be strong enough. Back in June 2021, Australia saw hundreds of criminals caught after a 3-year operation was complete. The FBI had been trying to crack this case for so long, but what happened was these cell phones that came from the black market, they have a calculator app on the device that was secretly a platform for criminals to message each other safely. Shipments, trafficking weapons, contracts, horrible stuff with horrible people, you name it. The FBI was able to intercept over 20 million messages in over 45 different languages. Operation Trojan Shield. Great name. Actually, I'll be right back. I have to go delete a few apps real quick.